Hello everyone, this is Revealing Light Tarot. I was going to read on Avenatti today, but that just got pushed aside with the Professor Blasey Ford testimony and the Brett Kavanaugh testimony, the reactions from the Republicans and the reactions from the FBI. I have to be honest, when I was looking at all that play out, my first thought was, why wasn't there an FBI investigation? Why has it been left up to a public court, so to speak, to make a judgment on whether Professor Ford is telling the truth or whether Brett Kavanaugh is indeed telling the truth? And where's the blame behind that? I'll leave that up to everyone to decide. However, what I wanted to do today is have a read on Professor Blasey Ford, how she's feeling now, and I wanted to read on how Brett Kavanaugh's feeling. And if we've got time, we'll walk through the Republicans and the Democrats. If not, we'll get to that another time. But let's start because Brett Kavanaugh was so strident in his defence. There were tears, there were anger. I must say it wasn't very pleasant looking at it. However, I guess, want to ask the tarot how Brett Kavanaugh, where is he at? What is behind his, obvious emotional response? We've had body language experts do that analysis. There was indignation and anger there, but why he just, you've got to wonder why he didn't withdraw his nomination, why he put himself and his family, and why he put his family through it, and why now there's nowhere really for him to go, because even if he does get chosen or gets through the Senate nomination process and they confirm his nomination, he's going to be forever tainted, and there could be other investigations that will come as a result of this. I don't see that he's got that he's going to go forward in any way. He's right. This has probably ruined his life. But why he didn't withdraw at the time, at an earlier time, we need to have a look. Okay, so what's behind? What's he thinking? Where's his mind at? What are his next moves? Okay. What are his next moves? I feel that he's very cornered. That's what I feel. All right, let's have a look. Okay, that's how he's feeling at the moment. He's feeling a lot of loss and he's feeling a lot of regret. I'm not going to put any value judgments on whether he should or whether he shouldn't. I'm just going to let the cards speak for themselves. In the past, he had hope. He had a lot of hope. He had hope that he would take the highest seat on the highest court in the land. He was hopeful for his future. He was hopeful for his influence. He was hopeful that all his hard work would come to fruition. Right now, he's feeling this loss and regret, this Eight of Cups. And it's kind of pointing to withdrawal and moving on. this person is walking away. So it could be that he's saying he's not going to give up, but it could be that he, at some point, given on new information, he may walk away. It could also mean that he feels the seat is already lost to him. Temperance in the future. Okay, so balance and moderation. What we saw there was Brett Kavanaugh's emotions and anger and indignation and tears. As I said, it wasn't very pleasant to look at. Some of his more angry outbursts were actually quite unsettling for me to watch. Um, you know, I mean, I can understand why he might be feeling like that, but why he could have avoided all of this. So could have the Senate. The Senate could have avoided all of this 2 weeks ago by saying we're putting the nomination on hold to make some investigation. As it is now, you know, there's an imbalance here. There's a division, and when there's division, there's imbalance. So what's at the root, the cause of it? Well, the Hermit card. So his loss, I mean, his feelings of loss and grief, I mean, he's very much on his own. That, to me, is why he's reacting in one way, why he's reacting. Because he feels like he's now on his own, you know. I guess it's that feeling when you're in the middle of a dreadful situation, and you really kind of feel alone. You don't know who you can count on for support. So he's feeling the loss and regret, and he's really feeling isolated. I think, you know, when you sense the reactions to Professor Ford's testimony already, you'd have to be starting to feel that. The Nine of Rods, okay, so he actually does want to press on. He does want to press on with the nomination. So he's between, I guess, a rock and a hard place. So for him in his career, I mean, things will keep unfolding. Just because he can't win. If he is confirmed, he will be forever tainted. There will be questions around his history and his character going forward forever. If he's not, then, you know, there could be, you know, there's the calls for an FBI investigation are really gaining momentum, and that's where Avenatti is hitting. But look, so all he sees at the moment is, even though he's feeling like this, the loss and the regret and the grief and wanting to withdraw, he's feeling that he's got no other choice but to push forward with his nomination. There's very much an imbalance at the moment. And this whole situation has caused an imbalance and a division, and that's largely down to the Republicans for proceeding with this nomination in the first place. So I just want to deepen the Temperance card with, you know, what are we likely to see in the next couple of days in relation to Brett Kavanaugh? What's sort of the next moves to come forward? Well, actually, we might mirror the Eight of Cups. Okay. What will Brett Kavanaugh likely to be doing next? What about... Oh, something's jumped out. Okay, so the High Priestess. That's sort of saying that more secrets are going to be revealed. By whom, I don't know. But there's more to come on this. There's more to come on these accusations of sexual misconduct. It's not going away. It's just not going to go away. And I think maybe at some level he knows that. He knows that. But as I said, he's wanting to press on at this point in time. So really, there will be more information. What this is saying is there will be more information coming forward in the next few days. So, I mean, the Senate is supposed to vote on it by Friday, but you know, that vote may not happen, or if it does, there's going to be more information coming forward. So let's have a bit of a look at Professor Blasey Ford. She's very heroic. I think Senator Booker called her very heroic, and I agree. Okay, How's she feeling at the moment? How's Professor Blasey Ford feeling at the moment? I think, obviously there's a relief that it's over with, that testimony is done with, it's finished. And there's a relief because her aim was to tell the truth, and that's exactly what she did. She fulfilled her aim. Okay. How is Professor Ford feeling now? Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so she's feeling that that she's uncovered things. So that is what predominantly she's feeling. I had a job to do and I've done it. Okay, completion. Okay, she's completed her job. So this is almost like she is able to close the book on this situation. And the seven of Pentacles, she had lots of choices to make, and she had commitment. She had commitment to make to uncover previous abuse, and that's what she's done. And look, here we have the Ace of Swords, which is very much about truth-telling. She was able to tell her truth. And the Seven of Swords, okay, so, this is again, she did not want to keep this to herself. Okay, she wanted to, I guess, uncover and expose the lies, the dishonesty. She wanted to uncover the character of Brett Kavanaugh. There's a lot of swords in this reading. It's all about her telling her truth. And it's also completion for her. She's completed her... She's integrated now that desire to tell the truth. It's, she might be able to get on with her life now. But let's just see, now that she's exposed these alleged sexual assault. Let's just see if she'll be able to move on with her life, because it was a huge commitment for her. Okay, will Professor Blasey Ford be able to move on with her life? Yeah, okay, she will. She will be able to, because this is transitions and necessary transitions and moving on. But all these swords are underscoring just how difficult it was for her to tell her truth. Just how difficult it was for her to take all of this on. And what it's cost her as well. What it's cost her. I guess this reading, this reading's really showing that there was no easy path for her to take, for her to tell her truth. No easy path at all. But having said that, it does offer her a hard and necessary way to move on. She's done all she can. Had she not come forward, and had he been confirmed without her telling her story, she would not have had to move on. So this dreadful situation for her, this horrendous, horrible time, her truth-telling will inevitably enable her to say, I did my best. I told my truth to expose the abuse. I made a commitment to telling my truth, and I did that. And that in one way will allow her to transition forward. Whether he gets his nomination approved or whether it doesn't, she's done what she had to do. So, here is the heroicness of Professor Ford. All right. Have we got time? I mean, probably no need to look at the Democrats, because the Democrats were playing very much they weren't dominating that hearing. What was dominating that hearing was the Republican, the outbursts, I guess, and the types of questions. And I particularly call to mind Lindsey Graham's outburst, Senator Graham's outburst. I was quite shocked. And again, that anger and outrage is, when you see the still photos, it's actually a bit unsettling. It's unsettling, very unsettling. I don't think it was a strategic display of anger. I think it actually made everything worse. But, and they're defiant. They're not even taking her allegations seriously in this nomination process. It's like, we heard her, we allowed her to have her say. But look, it really doesn't matter anyway. There are 4 senators, including one Democrat, who are huddled together, or were at the time that I did this reading, still undecided about which way they're going to vote. So, but let's just have a look at the Republican senators, the men, and see. Yeah, they would have done well, to have some women taking some Republican women taking the centre stage, and rather than all those men in that. I mean, other than Dianne Feinstein, who's a Democrat anyway, the overriding impression were men at that front bench. So, let's see. How are the Republican senators feeling at the moment? Yeah. Okay, so there's the swords. There's these swords. The 5 of Swords card keeps coming to mind, which came up with Professor Blasey about the exposure the exposure of things. Okay, so they're still. I think they're hoping that they're getting away with the way they're trying to push this nomination through. Okay, so the Magician has jumped out, and that's bringing the motivations forward into reality. So I guess this is what they're still hoping that they will be able to do. And the 6 of Pentacles is about, I guess, it's giving and it's supporting their nomination pick. It's about loans and debts, and so these senators very much see it as them supporting Trump's nomination pick, them supporting the Republican agenda. They're not going to deviate from that. Where has it left them? Bound and gagged. This is where they are now, or will be. So this is the 8 of Swords, and this is a self-imposed situation that they're in at the moment. They've pretty much, through their own actions, imprisoned themselves. These actions that are leading to so much grief and anxiety for them have been self-imposed when it could have been another way. And, that's because of this. That's because of what they were trying to do. And it's, it's really hard work for them. That's why you're seeing all these displays of anger and, this is hard going for them because they've been trying to, push things through. The process isn't right. The process, when there's such serious allegations, the nomination should have been suspended, by them pushing through to achieve the Republican and Trump's agendas, so that assistance could be given, because this card is about, loans and debts and repaying loans and support and, they've been the magician. They've been working behind the scenes to push that nomination forward. It's caused them to be like this. It's been hard for them. It's heavy work for them. But this is self-imposed imprisonment. They're bound and gagged. And they're bound and gagged by their own actions. All right, shall we look? I know I said we weren't going to look at the Dems, but we can. Let's have a look at the Democrats and see what's going on for them. Okay, so I'll concentrate on okay, is it Dick Turban, that Feinstein, Harris, Cory Booker. Okay, what does this mean for the Dems now? What does this mean for the Democrats? I know we had Lindsey Graham's threat that they would disrupt any future Supreme Court picks that the Democrats might bring forward. I honestly don't think Lindsey Graham will be around by then. I think he'll have to leave politics, or he will leave politics. Let's see. What does this mean? What does today's hearing mean for the Democrats? Yeah. Right. Okay, the Ace of Pentacles, new starts. All right, so this this is like new jobs, raises, promotions, okay? So this has actually been very good. Well, it sounds very cynical, but this has this whole process, which of course, Professor Ford was quite deliberate in saying that this wasn't politically motivated. She wasn't a pawn. But this is actually going to be new starts for the Democrats. And why is it going to be new starts? Because, it's really provoked choice now. And they're not pleasant choices. The pleasant choices are having to balance the, balance, having seen Professor Ford and seeing Brett Kavanaugh, people are now having to make choices about who's telling the truth. And, this would seem to indicate that they're coming down on Professor Ford's, on the side of Professor Ford. And, they're almost wanting to remember what it's done, I think, at a deeper level is it's people wanting to remember a better time when we didn't have a Supreme Court nomination pick, or when there was, who was under such a cloud that in normal circumstances the nomination would have been suspended. People are tired of it. They want this calmer, more peaceful, more certain time, and they're not seeing that they're getting it from Trump and the Republicans. They're tired of it. Okay, they want the new starts. This is the card of, emotions and new starts and starting all over again. They want to start all over again. And this is directly, I knew that this Kavanaugh nomination process was extremely important and critical, and it is. They want, as I said, this is all new starts. They want new starts, and they're looking to the Democrats for it. Wow. Okay. I'm not going to go any further. I think they've been pretty insightful cards that have come forth today. And I'm hoping, that I can get to Avenatti tomorrow, and that it will be really, I think, good when this whole thing is over with. But I mean, the fear, of course, is that Kavanaugh will be confirmed and it will be ongoing, because it won't end for him. These readings have indicated intuitively, and they're always a guide, but they've indicated intuitively that that the nomination process will be suspended in some way, won't get the votes. I still have a gut feeling that at some point someone's going to say, no, we cannot vote until there's further investigation on this. We don't want to rule out his nomination, but we need more information. I mean, that's kind of what I'm getting. But, anything can happen, anything can change. One thing's for sure, though, it needs a resolution. I don't think, there's a clear card that's coming forth that people are tired. They're nostalgic for for more peaceful, calmer times before Trump got in. And I think this cuts across political persuasion. I really do. I think everyone is feeling like this. So I guess there needs to be a healing time now. There needs to be a break from it all. I think people are going to very much vote with what that's saying is vote with their feet. They're going to come out and vote now, and it's going to, some of the motivation for the Democrats, because the cards showed that the Democrats, this whole thing would favour the Democrats. I think some of the motivation for voting Democrats is to get rid of this chaos, this obvious, this obvious, agenda, which is so on display. But anyway, we all know that. We're all sitting here. We're all privy to these days, as they say, and hopefully we will get that more peaceful times. I'm really hoping that that's true across the globe, that we go back to a more diplomatic way of solving our problems, other than bashing each other over the head and this chaos that Trump has introduced. Don't forget, in all the victim playing by the Republicans, don't forget Donald Trump. Don't forget who ramped all these divisions up, who caused people to come forward and have to fight. Okay, all right, that's the reading for today. I wish everyone well. Thank you.